them up to receive the money. And a beautiful day today.
You ordered it last night.
Yes, I did.
We delivered.
That's good.
I wish we could do that all the time.
How much do I owe you for that?
We'll talk about that later. It looks as though the forecast is going to stay pretty much the same. That means more nice weather even as we head to the weekend. You'll like the forecast, and we'll have it for you when we come back. We might consider this kind of an unusual sight to see totally clear skies as we examine our 3D satellite image. Usually at least there are a few clouds around, but tonight we see almost none, at least within the boundaries of Alabama and Georgia. As far as those temperatures go, they've been on their way down most of the evening into the pleasant, comfortable 60s in most areas. In fact, you can kind of draw a line from here up through Columbus and then off to the east, 60s north, 70s south of that. It is a little bit warmer in the southern halves of the states. Columbus still hanging in there at 71 degrees, but I think will fall well down into the 60s, probably most of the city anyway, getting into the upper 50s for overnight. Now we have another tropical storm to report. This is Tropical Storm Noel. It became one this morning, and this is only the second time since they have been naming storms that we have made it to N on the list. If we get to O, that'll of course be a record, at least since they started naming storms, which was back in the early 50s. But this is Noel with 50-mile-an-hour winds. It's really of no concern to anyone except for ships that may be traveling out that way. It's still well to the east of the Windward Islands. It is expected to go almost due north. It's going to get caught up in a trough here in the Atlantic, so that should keep it away from any land whatsoever. But of more interest to us is this. This whole big area of clouds is a tropical depression that suddenly developed today. They've actually been tracking this the last several days across the Caribbean, but they did find a circulation and winds about 30 miles an hour, so they call it a tropical depression. Doesn't have a name yet. Needs to have 40-mile-per-hour winds before it does acquire a name. Right now it's over the Yucatan Peninsula, which means it will stay weak for at least a while, dumping heavy rains there, maybe over western Cuba, maybe over parts of Central America. But as it works its way past the Yucatan, it's back in the Gulf, and things can happen when it gets back there. It is expected to strengthen and could well become a tropical storm along about Friday or Saturday. Pretty quiet across the country tonight. We find a front, the same old stalled out one down over Florida, plaguing them with more rain today down there. High pressure, though, has moved east into the Appalachians and is at least temporarily taken over our weather. With any kind of luck, it's going to hold that way through the weekend. This is kind of interesting here, a front which has made it down through the northern Great Lakes. It's got some real chilly air behind it, and we're going to be watching what that does over the next day or so. Rain is hard to come by across the nation. Some showers still lingering in Florida. Had thunderstorm activity there. A lot of that has diminished now that we've gotten into the nighttime hours. There's also some rain out west. Mostly just sprinkles, a couple of thunderstorms near Tucson, Arizona, and also up around Seattle. They've had a little bit of rain. Well, by tomorrow, we'll still see that old stalled out front in Florida. Showers and thunderstorms close to it for the folks in Tampa and maybe Orlando, possibly down toward Palm Beach and Miami. Meanwhile, that northern front makes it all the way down into Virginia by tomorrow with a strong high pressure behind it and cool air up there as well. Now, this high, although the front really itself will not get this far, the high itself is going to build down across the east coast, east of the Appalachians, and give us some pretty nice weather with maybe even falling temperatures for daytime highs the next several days. Maybe some additional cloud cover, too, if we get that moist flow coming off the Atlantic. We'll wait and see how that develops. I think our highs tomorrow should be still up in the 80s in most of the area, although North Georgia will likely stay in the 70s. Let's check the record book for Columbus today. We reached a high of 83, and our low this morning was 62. If you remember from last night, our forecast, we forecasted 83 and 62, and that also happens to be exactly normal for this date. It's rare when we are normal. We had no rainfall to report today. Here's your forecast for tonight. Clear and mild, low in the morning, 59 degrees or so. One exception to that, look out for some fog to develop as we get toward morning. And then for tomorrow, mostly sunny and warm, high near 83, northeast winds 7 to 14. The outlook then will bring the temperatures actually down a little bit between now and Saturday and also bring the clouds in, but I don't think there's any chance of rain coming back until about Monday at the earliest. Yesterday we said Sunday. We've changed that a little bit. So there's your freebie forecast for tonight. No charge.
Thanks. I guess that's good, putting the rain off for the tournament.
Oh, excellent. Should work out great for the tournament, we think.
Thanks, Kurt. Well, still ahead.